Okay, so in this video here, we're looking into, because a lot of my work is based on Mary Baxter, Brian Melvin, who I know personally through emails, and Bill Weiss because of their experiences in hell. So we actually have to look at these, whether it be a near-death experience or an OBE experience of someone's spirit going into hell, and then listening to what they have to say about their experiences. And also, in case people think to themselves that maybe these people are lying, well, you have to try and explain this. You have to try and explain that using hell and hell experience to make money is not the way to make money. You tell people what they want to hear if you want to make money, okay? If you're warning people of something terrible, people don't want to hear that. Why would people want to know that their relatives are burning in hell for? So we have to use a bit of common sense here. And then, of course, I look at their language as well, and their language, because I usually use statement analysis. And statement analysis, I've got a book that teaches you how to use it, and I haven't really been able to find any flaws in what they're saying, to be quite honest with you. Just because I do that just in case somehow someone is lying, but they seem to be they're saying the correct things, things that you would say if you really did have an experience. um, but that's just what I'm seeing. Obviously I can't talk about that because it would just take too long. Unless you buy the book yourself and do your own analysis, then go ahead and do that. But anyway, basically, so I would suggest that maybe buying their books or watching the testimonies. But we're gonna focus on Mary Baxter, and you can actually look at her website. You just type in Mary Baxter, and you'll find she's got her book for free that you can actually read her what she experienced in hell when she went with Jesus into hell. And this is basically what she saw in these hellish realms. Okay, this is the chapter 9, the horrors of hell. It tells her that what she saw in an area of hell when she was with Jesus. As far as I could see, she says, the cells seemed to be in an endless circle. There was a single soul in each cell. Moans, wails, sighs, and groans came from the cells as we walked past them. So this is way under the earth. In these cells, as far as you can see, are souls in torment. Each time the cells are filled, hell enlarges itself to receive even more souls. She also talks about how you actually have a body in hell, and Brian Melvin and Bill Weiss, they also confirm that you do have a body in hell. You have all your senses, and your flesh can be torn off, and limbs broken off, and things like that, and you feel everything, but you can't die. You can't cease to exist down there. It's eternal torment, you see. So that's what the kind of things that she saw down in hell. She saw worms crawling through people as well. So I watched, and she also, in a part of hell, she says, I watched Satan as a reddish yellow flame with brown edges grew all about him. Now, her description of what Satan looked like, he looked very similar to the devil of the movie Legend, okay? So look at the movie Legend. It makes you wonder where they get their inspiration from for when they create these demonic beings. Because she says that Satan looked very similar to him, with the big huge horns and the red skin. Right. So anyway, moving on. She saw him with the garments and they did not burn. The smell of burning flesh filled the air, and I realized anew that the horrors of hell are real. Satan walked through the flames and they could not burn him. Though I saw his back, I could hear his evil laughter everywhere. I watched as Satan ascended in a cloud of smoke, taking the stream of fire up with him to the top of the belly of hell. I listened as, and also these hellish realms are extremely dark as well. But she's still able, because of the flames and things like that, it kind of lightens up areas. And also she had to rely on the light of Jesus as well, so she could see where everything was. I listened as he turned and a loud voice announced that unless all these souls worship him, he would give them a turn in the fun circle, which is basically a place where it's like a Roman theatre. Now, interestingly, she says it looked like a Roman theatre. Now, think of this. The Romans, remember, the Roman Empire is part of this beast kingdom, isn't it? For the end times. So I'm starting to see Roman connections here. You know, it's almost like as if maybe the Romans, I don't know, but I find that very interesting that it just happened to be a Roman like theater that she said she saw. And he would give them a turn of the fun circle, and basically what they would do is that they would take people to the Roman theater in these hellish realms, and they would torture people there for demons to have fun, tormenting people in that area. And basically it says here, and the more they worshipped him, the greater was his hunger for adoration. Louder and louder rang the sounds of praise until the rafters of hell rang with the clamor. As Jesus was speaking, Satan was saying to his subjects, "Aha, this is your kingdom, all the kingdom you will ever have. My kingdom covers all the earth and the world below." I heard him shout, "This is your life for eternity," while cries of regret came from the burning cells. Okay, so people are being tormented even though they're trying to worship him. And anyway, so there you have it. We've got here Satan is telling us he is the God, basically, of this world that wants souls in hell. So if you fall off to Satan, he'll just take you to hell with him, basically, and you'll just get tormented. And this is what's happening to Satanists and witches and things like that. And this is what Mary Baxter saw, a lot of witches being tormented down there, with their flesh decaying, and they just look like dead people, but they can't get destroyed, if you know what I mean. But they can get ripped apart, but the flesh keeps coming back now and again, and then they go through the same kind of torments. So anyway, this God is Satan, and why? So in the Bible it says that the God of this world has blinded the minds of men. This is 2 Corinthians 4:4. And of course, this God is Satan, and is why Satan had the power to give all the kingdoms of the world to Jesus in Matthew 4:8. And of course, we know that Satan even tells them, well, he might as well tell the truth to them now, that his kingdom does cover the whole earth and the world below, which is basically the hell. And even though Satan is cast to the ground, it does not mean that the evil men will prefer him over God. Now, the scarlet-colored beast of Revelation 13 is Rome, and the fourth kingdom upon the earth in Daniel 7 is also talking about Rome, and how Rome is connected to Satan and Apollyon. It means, because of Jupiter and the god Apollo. It means we need to look at the Jesuits and the Roman Catholics, as they will be controlled by Satan and are part of the fourth kingdom beast. Catholic churches is all Christian paganism. Examples is how they have gargoyles in churches. You'll notice the gargoyles there, and even paintings of dragons or gargoyle dragons. I'll show examples of that. And even a painting of a goddess Artemis with multiple breasts. Now, if you went to your preacher and asked them, can we put demonic gargoyles all over this church, and can we put maybe some goddesses and gods into your church? Now, what do you think he's going to say to you? He's going to say, no, we're not going to have any of that nonsense. So there you have it. When it comes to these churches that have dragons and things that are to do with goddess worship and things like that in their churches, then you have to ask yourself, is this really Christian? Now let's look further down. In 2 Corinthians 11:13 it says, "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ." There we have it. "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works." So there we have it. The Catholic popes are working for the devil, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ, okay? They are deceitful just like the Jesuits. And we will look at a song by the Roman Catholics. Remember in Revelation 13, it says, they worship the dragon, which is, of course, Satan, right? And we'll not look into the song just yet. We're going to be looking into some other evidence, okay, to support, because we've got to look into Freemasonry, and we've got to look at at these Catholic churches as well, right? To see if there's connections with them, right? So these are the very, very, this is when things are going to get a bit more dark, okay? So bye for now.